Salons Reopen, which is supported by Salon Guru. You'll see in the top of the comments, if you want more information about Salon Guru, you can go to salonguru.net. And this morning we have got Salon business consultant Phil Evans with us, who has already helped many of his clients in different countries through the reopening process. And he will be sharing his insights and expertise to help you create a monthly plan that will grow your business once salons reopen. So hello there, Phil. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm very well, thank you.
Phil is with us from Spain. He's actually in Spain at the moment. And you work with lots of clients, lots of salon clients in all sorts of different countries, don't you? So you've probably seen this lockdown through many stages and phases.
Yes, yeah. I mean, we're primarily a UK company, and that's where most of our 15 team are based. But I'm personally based in Spain, so my experience of the lockdown has been quite different to many of my team. But we've also got a team in the US where we've got many salons, and they've been opening at a very different rate. So I've had salons that have been open many weeks there. We've also got clients in New Zealand and Australia. So it's given me a broad view of how salons are coping, managing, reopening through this.
Which is fascinating. Do you have any take-home hints and tips from watching some of these different countries reopen, the kind of the ones that have done it well versus the ones that maybe haven't done it so well, or any sort of words of wisdom or advice?
I think nobody actually knows the real answer. And that's the problem. You know, I see such different rules in each country, and I think they're all grasping, but because it's not been done before, you've got no history to prove that it's 2 meters better than 1 meter. It's a full face mask with the plastic better than just a face mask. That's the problem. So rules are being made up as they go along. And that's a little worrying because all of these rules have a big effect on our business.
Definitely. And you were saying earlier as well, weren't you, how attitudes and, you know, different countries and different personalities might have different attitudes in terms of what is considered safe and what isn't considered safe.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some of my US salons that have hardly closed at all. And yet I've had, you know, Spain went onto a very severe lockdown very quickly. That was their approach. Everything was closed down. You know, we couldn't go anywhere for many weeks apart from the supermarket, and then only one at a time. So myself and my partner could go to the supermarket or the chemist, nothing else at all, for about 10 weeks.
Wow, so that was the highlight of the day, yeah, or the week, should I say?
To the supermarket.
Yeah.
Or you could take the dog for a walk individually, but no more than 50 meters. So it was really, really serious. But I also think if you look at, spend a lot of time looking at the graphs, it worked because they were able to, you know, as they say, flatten the curve. They were able to come out of what was one of the worst situations in Europe very quickly.
Definitely.
But then you look at the American graph, and it's very different because they've been far slower into any kind of lockdown, and then far sooner out of it. Their graph is still showing really high infection rates, and some of the states have got some of the highest infection rates this weekend just gone.
Yeah, which is crazy, isn't it? Yeah. Fantastic. Well, from obviously you're in Spain and salons have reopened there, haven't they?
Yeah.
So what kind of, in terms of that first month of reopening, in terms of putting a plan together, what advice would you give to those watching for that first month of reopening, for creating a plan?
I think one of the problems we're going to face, you know, most of our businesses were relatively stable through the whole year. You know, obviously you get seasonal trends in terms of when you're going to be busy and quiet, Christmas and January being very different. This is going to be unlike anything we've ever experienced before. So I think we've got to realize that the first month of opening will be so different from month 3 and month 6. Yep. So planning ahead and trying to foresee what each of those months is going to be like and how you're going to have to react very quickly. The first month of opening will be about managing existing clientele and the enormous demand that is built up. Yep. So there are ways of doing that, or there are ways to try and help. I mean, many of our clients, we've got about 200 salons of all kinds and sizes. So from small rural salons to big national chains and big city centre salons, but the same procedures can help all of them. Many of our salons have had priority booking lists, and they've been running those on their website or through their software for some time now, where clients can actually say, I want to be one of the first people that comes through your door when you reopen. Because managing that tsunami of people is going to
Yeah.
be really difficult, because you're going to need to know, what staff am I going to need? How am I going to separate the staff? What space have I got? So having a priority booking list, I think, is really important. Now, many of our clients have also had priority booking vouchers, so they're actually selling the spaces. Now, that has helped their cash flow. Obviously, so if there's been real pressure on your cash flow, if you've perhaps not been able to get the grant, or your furlough of staff has not been possible, priority booking vouchers has been a really positive idea for many of our salons, and many of them have sold 10 or 15,000 pounds worth of pre-booked, pre-sold initial appointments. So,
right, and how does that work then, Phil? Would they be paying for the whole appointment, or some of the appointment, or how
some of the
does that
appointment,
work?
I mean, it varies by salon, and we always have that conversation with them. The one I did last week, we did a £25 appointment for gents and a £100 appointment for ladies.
Right.
And if your bill when you were in the salon was less, you'd get the change. If your bill was more, then you'd pay the extra. So basically, it's like a deposit or a holding fee.
Right. Yeah.
But that salon sold £15,000 worth of vouchers last week. No
Fantastic.
discount,
Yeah.
no special offers. Just, if you would like to be in first, then we need, what you don't want is to be open and have your team really complicated, organised, and then customers not turn up.
No, exactly. Definitely.
So planning. So my thinking on this is to plan each stage as best as you can. And the first stage is that getting ready to reopen.
Yeah.
So if you look at any of our client websites, they've all got very, very detailed discussions and plans about how we think we're going to be reopening, the procedures, how they will change, how your journey through the salon will change. Because I think one of the problems we're going to face is clients are going to be very nervous.
Yeah.
Staff are going to be very nervous.
Yeah.
So I think the clearer you can be, the calmer you can be, the better you can put across the message about this is how it's going to feel coming to the salon. That will help. That's a key marketing message, I think, for the reopening.
Definitely. So you'd advise changing the homepage of your website, or putting kind of a pop-up window or something on there to explain the reopening process for your salon and how that's going to work.
Yeah, I mean, I'll use some examples, because obviously I think that helps the most. We've got a salon in Tampa, in Florida, called Monaco, and they've got a great video on their homepage now. And it's relaxed and it's friendly, but it shows a process of arriving at the salon, a welcome pack, with a hand wash and a mask. So the PPE requirements and distancing. So all the things that perhaps you might have a concern about, you can answer those before the client even makes the appointment.
That's fantastic. And have they done that video in the salon? Are they sort of taking people on that kind of virtual tour?
Yeah. But I mean, they've spent some money on that video, you can see, but it's very easy to do it yourself. If you're a small salon, get your iPad out, get one of the team or your partner, and just say, this is what it will feel like. You arrive at the front door, you'll ring the bell or your phone. When you arrive, we will give you this pack. The receptionist will be wearing gloves and a mask. Our places are spaced out. So if you just walk people through the process, you're immediately going to answer all of those concerns.
So would you advise salons to maybe ask the team whether they could come in for one day to put this video together, so that you can actually enact how it's going to be?
Or the owner could ask their partner or a friend.
There
are all sorts of concerns about furlough and bringing people in to do work. I'm now seeing some salons bringing one person off furlough, so they're able to. I've got a salon that's got 1,400 people on the priority list. Somebody's going to have to start booking those people in.
Exactly.
So bring somebody off furlough a few weeks early, and their job is to book them all in with the suitable stylist at the suitable time and deal with that. So I think there are ways around it. Or use a partner. But if nothing else, if you can't do the video, just have a really clear, precise message on your homepage of your website. All of our websites do. If you go and look at any of them, a clear, precise message. This is where we are now, and we tend to change that message every single week. So that I think it's another thing that clients will want to see. They'll want to see that you're ahead of the game, that you're planning, that you're on top of this, that you're careful and thoughtful, and that's what they want to see. And one clear way of doing that is through your website. Yeah,
exactly. No, I think that's a fantastic idea. For anyone who wants to know, what's Monaco's hair salon website? What's the website for that?
It's monacosalon.com, I think.
monacosalon.com. So if anyone wants to check it. I
I've
can
got
imagine you.
200, so excuse me if I forget some of
No,
them.
not to worry at
But
all.
they're in Tampa, they're in Florida, Monaco Salon. But there are others, partners in Dundee, Broughty Ferry. They've got a small video on their website, a graphic video that explains the opening process and the changes. Now, those videos are being done by a company that I came across, and they charge £57 for a customised video you can place on your homepage.
Wow, well,
With your logo.
yeah,
that's great. That's, you know,
that is really good. Money well spent to make your clients feel at ease.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
the topic of this webinar is marketing, but I think marketing will be so different for the next few months. At the moment, marketing is about giving information and comfort.
Yeah.
In the past, marketing was about, we are the best salon in the city, and we do balayage better than everybody else. Now, marketing now for the short term will be giving confidence to clients that you can come to us and you're safe in our hands, and our procedures are great. Now, that's about communication. So it will be using your website to communicate the procedures, your risk assessment, the different journey, but also then emailing all of your clients, and social media advertising to all of your clients. So constant messaging to give these people confidence. That's the initial marketing.
Definitely. We've got a few questions coming in, Phil. So Louise Summers has said, great question, evolving medical rules and regulations aside, specific to hairdressers, what have been the most commonly experienced problem areas during that reopening process? And I'm guessing Louise wants your insights from the salons you work with in other countries that have gone through that reopening.
I think the biggest problem is there are so many issues. There isn't one overriding one single thing. Getting gloves, getting PPE, that's been a really big issue. And it's an issue that might be around for a few weeks and then go, and then it might come back. Dealing with staff concerns. It will be at some salons, it won't be at others. I've seen salons where the concerns of the staff are a real problem and getting them to return to work. So I don't want to give one simple, this is the big problem.
Yeah.
There are innumerable concerns and worries to get across. But I think what I'm trying to give our salons is answers to these problems. And I think one of the biggest answers for all salons is get really good support. If you sit back at home and worry about these things, as I've done at times, it will drive you crazy.
Yeah.
Because you don't know the answers. You can't know the answers. The government haven't given the answers yet. So how can we know about distancing? How can we know all the rules? We don't. So get really good support. And there are various ways of doing that. Join some really good professional Facebook groups. We've got a group for our own clients, and there's 300 salons in that Facebook group, and they talk every day about prices for PPE. Where can I get masks? And has anybody seen rubber gloves? Are people using disposable towels? Or what are you doing about certain members of staff on furlough? If you can talk to other people in the industry about the same problems, that's going to give you confidence. And occasionally there'll be a question that nobody knows the answer to. Of course, that's fine, just wait.
Yeah.
The answer will come from the professionals when the answer is there.
Definitely. And then Michael Teasdale, he said that he's in a very small rural salon, works alone with a part-time evening and weekend staff. He wants to begin to book clients in. However, he's scared in case July the 4th isn't the date. He's scared it might be too soon. And he fears that if he makes, I'm just trying to understand what he's saying there. If client circumstances could well change, does he wait until he receives government confirmation, or does he wait and then take appointments on a first come first served basis? I think he's just a bit worried about this whole 4th of July date and whether it may or may not happen.
I think the best message is complete honesty. And that would be to say, we don't know. We think we may be reopening the 4th of July. We hope. We really want to see you on the 4th of July, but we may not. However, we're building a priority booking list. Really simple to join. Add your name and email here. As soon as we know the date, then we can start calling you and booking you in, but it might change. So honesty, we're all in this together. And I think if we all take that calm approach, then I don't think it should be a problem.
Fantastic.
So a priority booking list, number one thing on your tick list to get done, a way of managing all those clients that are going to want to come in very quickly.
Brilliant. That's great advice. And then a few people are sort of wanting to quiz you on your knowledge of these salons that have reopened in different countries.
Okay.
Julie Medlin has said, what are your views on using clear visors? And I guess, how do you know how many of your salons have reopened with the visors or
I've
without the
seen them in
visors?
Spain and I've seen them without. So I think
Yeah.
that's the problem. I think if the government say you have to have them, then we're all, my feeling is they won't. I don't think they'll be that precise because it depends on the individual space. We've got some salons that are very big. I might have more than one floor that can space the chairs out. There'll be others that are very much more compact and much more closely spaced together, but it will depend on the social distancing rule. If they say 2 meters, then you're either going to have to block off every other chair or you'll have to put the physical spacing in. But will the physical spacing be allowed? We don't know. So it's one of those questions where don't drive yourself crazy going around in circles until you're given the answer. Now, when you're given the answer by the government, if it's not precise enough, go to the people who will give the best advice. Hairdressers Journal, National Hairdressers Federation, you know, the main bodies, they will have a view on this at the right time, but they don't yet because they don't know what the rules are. So don't worry too much just yet.
That's great advice. And then the similar advice will apply to Carmel and Kerry. Carmel's asked how many can be in the salon at one time, and Kerry's asked, do we need to have screens between chairs if the chairs are 2 meters apart? I mean, there's a big debate in the UK at the moment, and the government is talking about reducing the 2 meter rule down to 1 meter. So who knows, it could all change, couldn't it? So I guess it's maybe too early doors.
I went to a shopping precinct for the first time at the weekend. First time we were allowed for a long time. Every shop we went into had a different version of the rules. Some had one-way systems, some had gloves, some had no changing rooms. One had a changing room that one changing room was open, and between every single person, they cleaned the curtains.
Wow.
It's like, there are going to be some really bizarre.
I bet those curtains had not been cleaned in years in a changing room in a shop, and now all of a sudden
there's nobody policing this. There's no policeman walking around checking this. So I think, you know, a calm and sensible and something that protects your staff and protects your client. But let's wait on some of these things. I would do the things that you can do and get them out of the way, because that'll give you such a feeling of confidence that you're getting things achieved. You know, so it's why the priority booking list is a good thing to do, because you can do that now. You can get that done and finished and ongoing, and you now know I've got a system to cope with that initial reopening week, month.
Brilliant. We've got
and then start thinking beyond that.
Exactly. We'll move on to, once we've done with the first month, I'll then quiz you on what you can do second, third, fourth month. We've had a great marketing question come in for you, Phil.
Good.
Lucy Sanders has said, how can she get her clients to realise that they're not all going to get that first appointment in the first week? And she says that many of her clients seem to think they'll be working like normal and they're all desperate to get in there first. I mean, from a marketing point of view, how would you sell that to clients who are all wanting to be first in the first week?
Again, honesty. You know, we've been writing a lot of emails for our salons, and because I've got quite a big team of writers, and we write these emails really carefully, and they've probably been some of the longest emails we've ever written. Normally, an email from a salon to its clients is quite short and sweet. You know, we're changing our opening hours, or we've got a special offer. This has really gone into the worries, the concerns, the pressure that the salon is facing, what they're trying to do about it, and what they think their plans will be. You know, we're opening on 2 different floors with 2 different shifts. We're opening longer hours. You know, each salon will have its own unique answer, but share that with the client. This is going to be so difficult. We can't get everybody in at once because you wouldn't want us to. You want to be safe. So we're going to have to try and find a way through this by booking. Now, pre-sold priority booking vouchers are a good idea because, you know, not everybody will want to buy a voucher, which immediately means you can say, well, we're obviously going to deal with those people that have either paid a deposit, because you might have some people that paid a deposit before lockdown. So we'll deal with those people that paid a deposit or have bought a priority booking voucher first, and then we'll be opening it up to general appointments. But with the proviso that there'll be distancing and limits on numbers and different opening hours. So again, be really straightforward.
Brilliant. And Trudy has said she works in a very small walk-in barbers with no website. So what kind of marketing advice would you give to somebody like Trudy?
I think walk-ins is definitely a no-no in Spain. You can't just have walk-ins. So I think every salon I've seen has got, you have to have an appointment, doors are locked, you have to ring the bell to get in, or you phone when you're at the door. So I think there will have to be a big change there.
Yeah.
Different salons, there are hair salons, there are beauty salons, aesthetic salons, barbers. So there's no one answer fits them all, because you're all going to have specific, unique challenges. You just have to think them through and think,
Yeah.
how can we be the best we can be under our particular circumstances?
I mean, I guess, for a small barber shop like Trudy's, I guess Instagram would be their best friend in trying to build that up and encourage people to book through that.
And a sign on your door. Sometimes it's real.
Yeah.
It's
if people would normally walk in, then putting a link to how you can book.
Here's our mobile number. Yeah, if we don't answer immediately, leave us a phone, leave us a message, we'll call you back. Honesty, straightforward. We're going to have difficulty answering your calls really quickly, but we will get back to you. That's the best. It's going to be the best approach.
Definitely. No, great tip there. Simple, putting the number on the front door.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So Rachel Fear has said she owns a salon that she rents out for hair and beauty. Some therapists don't want to return until September. She's not charged them rent during shutdown, but do you feel she's being fair by charging them as soon as she opens up her salon again, whether or not they are or are not there?
It's such a difficult one. There are so many different pressures, whether it's employed staff or self-employed staff or chair renders. I think, again, I feel like I'm on a broken record here. Yeah, it's honesty. Sit them down and say, listen, I've got to pay this rent. To survive, I'm going to have to find a way through this. These are my options. What suits you? There's no other way around it. I do this with my staff, from day one, because we face the same pressures. We have 200 salons, but a lot of them have paid nothing during this lockdown period. So we've had to survive. So I had a really honest conversation with my staff and said, this is what we face. We're all going to come out of this together. At the other end of this, I will have the same team. We were doing the same job, but we've got to get through it. And that means having honest conversations about the pressures that we're under and what's the best answer that suits us.
Exactly.
That's one of the real positives. There are a lot that have come from this. I've seen people having really honest conversations.
Yeah, which, is refreshing to see in a way, isn't it? Yeah, definitely. We have to have these frank chats. And then Sandra has asked, do you have any advice you can share specifically for freelancers as opposed to those working in a salon? She's fully prepared with PPE and keeping clients informed about everything she's seeing on HJ and the NHBF, which is fantastic. But she's just feeling really nervous for herself and her clients. So from a marketing point of view, what kind of advice would you give?
We tend to look after salons of a particular size, 3, 4, 5 stylists right up to 200. So because we're a salon website company, they tend to be of a certain, so I don't have a lot of freelancers. However, the same thing applies. Surround yourself with good advice. Join the right groups, read the right pages, don't listen to the nonsense. There's so much nonsense on Facebook. There's so many scare stories. Ignore all that. If you're not getting it from a good source, ignore it. Read the good stuff and do what you can. That's all you can do. I don't have a lot of freelancers, so I can't give a lot of specific examples about mobile hairdressers or freelancers, but just surround yourself with good advice.
Fantastic. It sounds like Sandra is doing all the right things, and the Freelance Hairdressing Association, Federation even, they've created some guidelines as well, so it might be worth checking out what they've put in place, which would be more specific for freelance.
We've done it every week. Every week we've prepared and issued and put on our website a guide. But the latest one was a reopening guide. There was a checklist, and it wouldn't apply. Not every single point will apply to every salon, but we've tried to go through every single question we could think about. Using the toilet, answering the phone, taking payment. It's a long checklist. There are lots of those out there, and they will help, because it helps you get your thoughts in order. It helps you realize what's important. And there'll be many you'll think, I hadn't thought of that. I need to think about hiding the toilet key or having to ask for it at reception. What do I do at the front door? Is it locked? So download as many of those guides as you possibly can, because they'll all help.
Fantastic. And actually, Sally asked if she can have an example crib sheet of your letter, and she might be speaking about your checklist, but I guess if you go to the salonguru.net website, you'll be able to
there's a whole, in fact, I've just put a flash across the new homepage and read our coronavirus updates. There's all sorts. What I'll make sure we do today is add a typical email. And they've changed. An email this week will be very different to the email last week, because the story is changing. We're getting closer to opening. We're launching priority booking lists. So, but we'll publish some examples of some of those emails, and you're welcome. Please go and use them. They're words that we've written. If they help you, great.
Fantastic. And actually, Kelly has just said the FHA, which is the Freelance Hairdressing Association, is great for freelancers. So there's a great tip for that. Our freelancer who was asking a question earlier. Pammy Cool wants to make a comment and says, we're operational in India for 1 month now. We can do everything on health and safety side, but the issue is that people are carrying, what's he saying? Have to shut down. So we're operational in India for 1 month now. We can do everything on health and safety side, but the issue is mortal sacra. Okay, I think you might have to clarify there, because I'm not quite sure what you're trying to say there, Pammy Paul.
It's highlighted again that every country has its own rules.
Definitely.
From what I read over the weekend, India and Pakistan have real problems of surging rates. So I think each country will be at a different place. Each country will have different rules. We are like a sort of broken record, but get the best local advice. A lot of it will be government advice, a lot will be industry advice. Get the best local advice. That's where you'll get the real answers, not Facebook.
Fantastic. And I don't suppose you've had any feedback, have you, from any of your salons that have reopened, Phil, with anyone who wears glasses? Because Debs has said her glasses steam up when she puts a mask on.
Well, because I live in Spain, I tend to go out in sunglasses, and when I put my mask on, it's a nightmare. It really is difficult. However, you see people walking around in Spain. You're supposed to wear a mask when you're outside or on public transport. Most people tend to put the mask on and then pull it down, unless they get close to people or a group of people and pull it back up again, or are asked to by the police, or you go in a shop. So have your mask around your neck or under here, and put it in place when you need to.
And I guess she's thinking about when the salon reopens, I guess she'll have to kind of maybe get some air in the staff room, put it down for a minute in the staff room to unsteam and then come back out again.
See, I wear contact lenses, but I don't want to do that every day.
Oh, Andrew Sutherland has just said, wash glasses in hot soapy water and it solves steaming up. Great tip. Brilliant. Got to love it. And fantastic. Well, we've covered a lot in terms of what to do during that first month of reopening. We're getting quite close to the end of the session now, Phil. So I just wondered if you wanted to share any tips for how to grow your business beyond that, once you've got beyond that point of getting all your clients in for that first initial time.
Yes, I think what worries me, what we're going through now is very difficult. What's coming could be a lot worse. That's my real concern. Whether it's a second spike, or whether it's just people who are out of work and less money. I'm really concerned. I think most salons are going to be really busy for the first month. Where we'll be in 3 months' time or 6 months' time, I don't know, and that's worrying. And I think there will be salons that don't survive this. I think most salons will reopen their door on the 4th of July or whatever date. Whether they're still around in 3 months' time, I think a lot of them won't be, because I think the trouble, we don't know what's coming, so you're going to have to react quickly. All of my salons are removing all their offers at the moment. There are no special discounts, no special offers, but I think in 3 months' time, those are going to have to come back, and there's going to have to be a lot of true marketing of the old style. You're going out and you're looking for new clients, because salons will be closing. So there'll be clients out there looking for either their salon's closed or they're not happy going back to the salon they used to go to. Or also I've read quite a lot about where people who have worked in a big city and now spending more time at home, not commuting. So suddenly they're looking for a local salon. So in 3 months' time, I think there's going to be a lot of clientele out there looking for salons. So really clever marketing. And that, for me, primarily, that is really clever use of social media. Having a great website is vital. But once you've got a great website where you can have the right message and you can change that message, you bring people to the website using social media.
Yeah.
And carefully targeted Facebook and Instagram adverts are the best. That's the best way of bringing a lot of people to your website, whatever your promotion. We won the best salon marketing campaign at the British Hairdressing Business Awards last year, and it was all about highly targeted Facebook and Instagram advertising. Because you can advertise to women under 25 within a particular postcode with a particular image. Now, we did that for a year for a particular salon, changing the pictures, changing the videos, changing the postcodes, changing the age groups to develop a campaign. That's how clever I think salons are going to need to be in the year ahead. You can't just wait for new customers.
And that's fantastic advice. And obviously in that first month of reopening, you want to show the love to all of your loyal clients who are desperate to come and see you. But when do you think salons should start thinking about doing a targeted campaign for new clients in their local area? At one point,
a lot of my salons are doing targeted campaigns now for recruitment.
Right.
Because we think there are going to be stylists whose salon will not reopen, or were self-employed, therefore were not covered by furlough. So there's probably some very good people out there. So for a lot of our salons, we're doing targeted Facebook adverts, only reaching hairdressers or beauticians in that area. So they're low cost because you're only reaching a small market, and they're working very well. So that's the first phase of the targeted marketing. I would guess within about a month. I think we're all hoping for this massive influx of clients coming back, but we don't know how nervous some of them are going to be, or just that they've got members of the family that they're trying to protect, they're shielding. So we just don't know. So we have to be ready, even if we don't turn it on, do the work, get your campaign ready, so that possibly in a month's time, you could have a really good Facebook and Instagram campaign.
Fantastic. And I think that's really great advice, Phil. Thank you very much. And obviously, if you want any more information, do check out the salonguru.net website. I'm sure it's going to be a crazy busy first month for UK salons when the doors do open, whether that's 4th of July or whenever it is officially decided they can reopen. But I think that's great advice for moving forwards. Once all those loyal clients have had their appointments, making sure you get an influx of new clientele coming in as soon as possible. Fantastic. Well, are there any final words that you wanted to share, Phil, before we wrap up?
I think we've all been through some really difficult days. I have definitely. And I think that one of the key lessons from this, surround yourself with some good, knowledgeable people, whether it's your accountant or your software company or your website company. Get good people around you and join good groups, because that's what will get us through this. Knowledge, not Facebook stories. Surround yourself with good people and plan for the next 6 months, and you'll get through this.
Fantastic. I think that's brilliant. And a lot of people have been commenting saying that the forums have been really helpful. The suppliers have been really supportive. So it's building on that network, isn't it?
Yeah.
Making sure that you do use what's around you. Fantastic. Brilliant. Well, I think everyone would agree that this has been a really fascinating session, Phil. Lots of insights and some home truths as well, which I think is necessary in terms of what life will be like after that crazy first month is over, and making sure that everyone starts preparing for that now, because now is a good time to do that, isn't it? Start putting together a Facebook campaign.
We've all got some time. Use that time wisely.
To get those new clients through your doors, and equally to make sure that you've got the staff that you need to run your salon effectively. Brilliant. And Tamara's just said, I missed the first bit. Can I watch this again somewhere? Yes. So this session, you will be able to watch it back on Facebook. And we will also be putting it onto our IGTV on Instagram as well.
Great. So I need to share the link with my mother, because she'll be saying
she'll want to see it. Exactly, definitely. So we'll make sure it's there for Phil's mom as well. And one final question. It's always right at the end as well that people start putting in those final ones in. Should prices rise? I think that's quite a simple one there, isn't it, Phil?
Yeah, I think charging for PPE and prices, it's it's an individual answer for each individual salon. You may have only just put your prices up. You might just instead remove all of your offers. If you're a salon that tends to have quite a lot of offers that are running, you might remove all of those. But I think, again, join a good group and talk to other salon owners. What I've seen is typically about £5 as an additional charge for PPE. You've got to decide. I don't run your business and nobody else does. You've got to decide how you can put that across to clients. But if you're going to do it, be really honest. Be really, really honest. This is why we're doing this, and be straightforward.
Definitely. And in the UK, the national minimum wage went up in April anyway. So all of your staff will be on, you'll have to spend more on wages.
I think the next 3 months, 6 months is going to be constant change.
Yeah.
Everything. So just be
got to
ready.
Stay on the ball. Exactly. Yeah. Keep checking out Hairdressers Journal, organisations such as the National Hair and Beauty Federation, and freelancers, obviously. Do check out the Freelance Hairdressing Association as well. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Phil, for your time today. It's been invaluable, and it's been great getting some insights as to what's going on in the rest of the world as well in terms of reopening, and being able to share those with our UK audience has been fantastic. And thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thank you very much.
Brilliant.
Hopefully we'll speak again.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. Enjoy the sunshine in Spain, and hopefully
I will do.
Stay sunny in the UK for a bit as well.
Thanks very much.
Take care, Phil.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.